You know, have you ever really looked at the cash in your wallet? I mean, really stopped and looked at it? It might just feel like a piece of paper, but trust me, every single banknote is a tiny masterpiece of technology and security. It's really a key piece in a war against fakes that's been going on for centuries.
It's a fun thought, isn't it? What's actually stopping you from just firing up a really nice printer and making your own cash? Well, that's the multi-billion-dollar question, right? The answer is this constant, high-stakes cat and mouse game between governments and counterfeiters. It's a battle that has seriously pushed the limits of science and art.
All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna peel back all these layers. We'll start with the stuff you can check yourself, then we'll dive into the secrets that you can only see with special lights, then the codes meant only for machines, and finally, we'll take a peek at what the future of money might look like.
So, your very first tools in spotting a fake? They're your own hands and your own eyes. The experts call this the first line of defense, and it's all about features that are designed so anyone, you and me, can check a note's authenticity in just a few seconds.
It all starts with the feel. Real money isn't just paper. It's actually a special blend of cotton and linen fibers. That's what gives it that crisp, durable feel that's so hard to copy. But the real trick is in the printing. There's the special process that makes the ink feel raised, creating a texture you can actually feel. And that's combined with other cool visual tricks, like hidden watermarks you can see when you hold it up to a light.
So that raised texture, it comes from this really old, really cool process called intaglio printing. Picture this, an image is literally carved into a thick steel plate. That plate gets covered in ink, then wiped clean so the ink is left only in the carved out grooves. Then, with just tremendous pressure, paper is forced into those grooves, lifting the ink out and creating that 3D bumpy feeling you can catch with your fingernail. It's a massive, industrial process. You're just not doing that at home.
And you know, that unique texture is a total giveaway for fakes. Here's a great tip from a banknote collector. A really common trick for counterfeiters is to press a fake note with an iron to try and make it feel crisp. But doing that actually destroys the one thing they're trying to copy, that super important raised ink. A real note will always have that tactile, three-dimensional feel.
Okay, this next feature is just brilliant. It's called a see-through register. So take a look at this Indonesian rupiah note. On the front, you see part of an image, in this case, the central bank's logo. Then you flip it over, and in the exact same spot on the back, you see the rest of the logo. By themselves, they look kind of incomplete, almost like a printing mistake.
But here's the magic. When you hold that note up to a light, those two halves line up perfectly and form the complete whole logo. I mean, getting that kind of perfect alignment on both sides of a piece of paper, that takes a level of printing precision that most counterfeiters just don't have. It's such a simple but amazingly effective test.
And you know, security isn't just about stopping criminals. It's also about making sure money works for everyone. Australian banknotes are a perfect example of this. They have these raised tactile bumps, like one bump for the $5 note, two for the 10, and so on. This lets people who are vision impaired identify the value just by touch. They also make the notes different sizes and use big, bold numbers to help everybody out.
Okay, so we've covered the first line of defense. Now let's move on to the second, the invisible shield. These are the security features that are hiding in plain sight, and they only come alive when you put them under a different kind of light.
Let's take a regular $5 bill. Under normal light, it looks like a $5 bill, exactly like you'd expect. But it is hiding some pretty incredible secrets.
But just watch what happens when you change the lining. Hit it with a little UV light, and bam! A security thread that's literally woven inside the paper suddenly glows a bright, vivid blue. Or shine a bright spotlight through it, and other hidden symbols just pop out. These things are completely invisible in regular daylight. And this isn't just a US thing, it's a global security standard. Look at this British 10-pound note. Under UV light, the number 10 just explodes in this incredible, multicolored glowing pattern. To create fluorescent inks this complex is a fantastic defense because it's so hard for forgers to get it right.
But we can go even deeper. The third line of defense. This is where things get really interesting.
It includes features that are basically invisible to us, designed to be read by high-speed sorting machines or only visible under a powerful microscope. These are the secrets for machines only.
So look at this. What just looks like a simple little line on this 10-pound note is hiding a secret. If we zoom in, I mean way in, that line is actually made up of impossibly small text, just repeating the words 10 pounds over and over. The detail is so incredibly fine that most printers and scanners just can't handle it. Any attempt to copy it just turns into a blurry, useless line.
But maybe the most clever machine-readable feature is one that's designed to stop copying before it even starts. It's called the Urion constellation. It's this very specific pattern of little circles that's hidden in the design of tons of different currencies. You're not supposed to see it. It's a secret message for machines.
And here it is, up close, on a 50 € note. This pattern acts like a digital stop sign. Modern photocopiers and software like Adobe Photoshop are programmed to constantly scan for this exact pattern. If they find it, they just shut down the process. They'll refuse to copy or even open the image. It's a digital lock built right into the note itself. How cool is that?
So where does this whole arms race go from here? Well, as technology gets better, banknote security has to get better too. We're now getting into this whole new era of wild new materials and mind-bending optical tricks, all in the hunt for the truly unfakeable banknote.
One of the biggest battlegrounds right now is the material itself. You've got the traditional cotton-based paper, which gives you that classic money feel and is great for watermarks. But then, you have countries like Australia and Canada that have switched to a polymer substrate. It's basically a type of plastic that's way more durable, it's waterproof, and it lets them do things that paper just can't. And polymer allows for features like this. This is what we call an optically variable device, or a DOVID. It's totally the cutting edge. You've seen these before. Things like holograms or those color-shifting inks that go from copper to green when you tilt the note. They create these amazing 3D images and moving patterns that are, at least for now, next to impossible to fake well.
Which brings up a really fascinating point. Not all countries have the same security strategy. A forensic analysis found that some currencies, like the Thai baht, just pack in the highest number of different security features they can. But then you have the US dollar, which has historically used fewer features, choosing instead to focus on perfecting a handful of really strong ones, like its one-of-a-kind paper and ink. Every country is making a different bet in this ongoing security race. All of this incredible technology leads to one last question. As we all move toward a world of tapping our phones and digital transfers, is physical money, this hidden art gallery of science and technology we carry around, is it becoming a relic? Or will the need for something tangible and secure make sure that this incredible race between the makers and the fakers continues for years to come? It's something to think about next time you open your wallet.